So, second topic of the day is Konami and all its ridiculousness.
Oh, no.
Taking down PT, all of this stuff.
I just snagged it.
Did you get
On
to
my
your
phone,
app?
I just
Look at
got
that.
it. Yeah,
Look at
yeah.
2015, everybody.
So wait, how does that work? You add it to your download queue.
Yep, it's downloading on my home right now.
But okay,
You have to redeem it is all. That's all, yeah.
But if I added it to my queue like yesterday,
Uh-huh.
but I haven't been able to use my PS4.
Okay.
Am I screwed?
I think
My PS4 is off, so it's not doing.
The auto download
Yeah.
stuff.
I don't think you have to download it.
Well,
You just have to,
are they
check out, you know?
ripping it from the entire... They're just taking it off the store in
Yes.
terms of being able purchasable. It's still, if you own it, it should still be there in the background, correct?
Yeah.
Or
Well,
no?
yeah, if it's downloaded on your system, it's there, but you can never download it again.
Okay, so
Oh,
they are
really?
just
Oh,
whitewashing it from the store, so you're
Yeah.
fucked, yeah.
Well, okay, when's it done? When's it off?
It's supposed to be off
Sometime
today.
Today?
Yeah.
Just
But you have to understand that I don't even think Sony understands how PSN works. So like whether or not they're going to be able to go in there and actually remove that game remains to be seen. I'm sure it's something that Konami wants to do. And they probably have a legal right in their contracts to do it. And games have been removed from PSN completely before, as we've talked about. They've been scrubbed completely. Like
Dude, I
TNT.
was trying to buy Mortal Kombat last week, and the only version that was on the store for at least 2 hours was the like special edition $90 version.
And you're like,
and I was like
no.
kept refreshing, and then eventually you're like, oh, there it is. Yeah, I can get it now.
Yeah, PSN's a jumbled mess of whatever.
John Drake's over there staring at it. He's like, I don't know what to do with
I
this
don't
server.
even know. All right, before we get into all of that, our second sponsorship for the day is Warby Parker.
Oh.
They're a new concept in eyewear, contemporary eyeglasses that are extremely affordable and fashion forward. Have you guys heard of them? Used them?
Are those them right now? That you're
No.
using? Oh, okay.
we were just all touching our glasses.
Sorry.
I thought
Do
we were doing
you
that
use
Contact
glasses
lenses.
at all?
Contacts.
So I use contacts as well.
Yeah.
But I also need to wear glasses like at home and shit.
No, I was used to wear glasses, but then I became the face of GameSpot, and
you're
then
like,
we
I
needed
can't
to
be doing all that.
differentiate away from
God,
this guy.
your face looks just
So-
like that guy's
Yeah,
face.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you just got some more gray hair, we might be okay.
I'm
that'd
working
be-
on it.
Yeah.
No, here's the deal with this: is that as part either of this deal or whatever through our MCN, they reached out to us and have Colin and I doing it. So I've gone through and picked my 5 frames. They haven't been shipped to me yet because Colin's dragging his feet.
Yeah, sorry. I went to do it last night actually, and I was like, I need to find my prescription because I'm not entirely sure what my prescription is for my lenses.
One of the guys in GameSpot uses this service. Actually, I've seen it in the office. He was picking through them.
Yeah, their whole deal is that they're like cheap glasses that are like with fashion in mind and like trying to make it look nice, and it's for prescription glasses and all that stuff, and it's trying to keep those down because glasses are expensive.
Yeah, they're
man.
really expensive.
Frames when you go to like the mall places and you're looking at
Lens
all of them, it's
crafters.
like hundreds of dollars. And it's
Yeah.
just like why? And it's just there's this whole system they got in
Rigmarole.
place and all that stuff.
System.
It's because
Oh,
the
damn
insurance is my
system.
thing. Because I think these were like $300, but then like your insurance
Yeah.
covers 150, so then you just have to cover 150. You're like 150
Yeah.
isn't that bad.
But it's all designed that way.
No, I
You
know,
what
I know.
So,
The
like,
system-
that's a
The
problem.
system
But
is designed to screw you and keep you sick. Let me tell you about the government.
oh my god. But I got a lot of friends that use this stuff. A lot of our friends over at Rooster Teeth have it. Like Erin Zek, she uses it all the time, and Meg Turney and stuff. They use them, and like they use them not even just from the because of Rooster Teeth. They use it just for their own personal stuff.
'Cause
Like,
they're
they buy 'em,
fashionable.
and they're awesome. Like they look good. They're good looking glasses. And if you want to look good on Instagram, you gotta get them. You take all the selfies and stuff. You get all the likes. It'll be great for your career. I'm telling you. So okay, Warby Parker is the new way to shop for eyewear. They got the coolest selection of vintage inspired glasses, and they're all available to you online. So you just gotta go online and you can choose the ones you want, and you can choose 5 of them. They'll send the frames to you, so you can try them on.
Do they have those ones?
They don't have those. We can email them and ask them to work on that though. So they start at $95. Their titanium collection starts at $145. If your titanium collection starts at $145 for glasses, that's pretty good.
This is what Rihanna's saying about it.
Are they
Yeah.
are the titanium
Almost not
collections
real.
so light that you barely know they're there?
Yeah,
Like
but
the-
they're
like the-
so sharp you can shank someone if they
Right.
try and steal your glasses.
I can't confirm either of those.
Who was
things.
it if it wasn't Rihanna? She sings every song.
Titanium?
I am titanium.
I don't know why I looked at Kevin next.
We're gonna get a copyright strike.
Yeah, I don't know who that was. I don't remember, but it was
too
not,
accurate.
It was not Rihanna. So yeah, you can order 5 pairs to try them on. There's no obligation to buy it. So if you don't like any of them, you can just return it. And if you want to support the show right now, you can go to warbyparker.com/KFGames. That's KFGAMES. And you can receive
Kentucky Fried Games.
It's something like that.
Yeah.
It's either that or kind of funny. I'm pretty sure it's Kentucky Fried though. You'll receive a free expedited 3-day air shipping. So that's awesome. You order 5, get them in 3 days, try them on, take a bunch of Instagram pictures, see which ones you like.
Try all of them on the same time.
Yeah, you could. I don't know.
Nothing's stopping you. This is a
Yeah.
free country. That's why I
It is.
moved here.
Now, how do you spell the full URL?
The full URL is because Warby Parker's. I mean, you'll see it here. Kevin's gonna put it because he's a good dude. It is warbyparker.com/KFGames.
warbyparker.com/KFGames. Very cool, very cool. And as glasses wearer, I appreciate the kind of fluidity of the whole thing about the choice and and all that, because glasses are expensive. People always comment about how much they like these frames and the other frames that I wear. And the fact is it's true. Like these frames are like $400 and something, you know, and they're nice. They're beautiful glasses.
They are.
But like, and my other ones were expensive too. But it's to Greg's point. It's like because insurance covers so much of them, you don't quite realize how expensive some of these things are, and lenses and all that kind of shit and that whole. And so I think especially if you don't have insurance and stuff like that, this seems like a pretty affordable.
I also really hate trying on glasses in the optician's place. I just don't like it.
That's pressure,
I don't like,
man.
Yeah, there's like it's a real kind of sales heavy situation.
Yeah, they're walking around, they're watching.
Yeah, like, oh, you like this? Yeah, and they got those little stupid ass mirrors that are like all fucking barely fit your head in it. So like being able to do it in the comfort of your own home, just put them on.
You get to try it on with your clothes and stuff, and see
with,
with like
without your clothes.
That's true.
Perfect, yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
But with different clothes and stuff, like I care about these things. Like to me, glasses, it's an accessory. I like watches. I like my shoes. I like all this stuff, and I want to know what it looks like with the outfits that I wear every day. So I like this. I'm all
Or
about
naked.
this. Or naked, yeah. Well, you need to know because you need to be able to see when.
That's why I hate go to the optometrist, because I go naked and they fucking,
they're like all upset about
please
it.
get out,
They need to
sir.
stop.
You're like, I need to know what I look like this in every light.
All right, guys, warbyparker.com/KFGames. Definitely check it out. Let us know what you think about it. But now back to it, Konami.
Thank you. Oh,
Konami.
What?
Shia, S-I-A. That's the female vocalist in Titanium.
Sia.
Shia LaBeouf.
The song's by Sia.
Yeah, I guess according to what I was able to dig up on Wikipedia, and I doubt that's wrong. You don't search it.
All right,
you don't have time to search
I'm not
it.
going to Konami. We're talking about Konami here. So, Colin, I know you have a lot of thoughts about this.
I don't know. I
Specifically,
really
the whole Kojima. We got the Kojima stuff. Let's get the PT talk out of the way.
Yeah.
Should they take it off, or should they just leave it?
Yeah, it's a demo for a game. So I mean, the whole thing was to find that the whole idea of PT was to find that if you could beat it properly, that it's a demo for a real game. So it makes sense for them to take it down since the game's canceled.
Just patch it. Patch it like they patch Devil May Cry. So instead of it being like, yeah, we're going to make another one, it just goes, nope, this is probably the last one of these we're going to get to make.
Norman
Just
Reedus is just like, thanks. But
yeah,
not
thanks
happening.
for playing.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why they're doing it. It's sad. It's too bad, you know, because eventually PT's one of those examples of, if you like, we were talking about with I think we were just talking about it with digital games versus retail games last week, or physical games, about how, well, emulation and all these kinds of things lets these games live in perpetuity, but will PT just kind of disappear in 100 years forever? Like, is it something that is it going to be a lost game like these mainframe games we were talking about on Colin and Greg Live yesterday? I don't know, but I understand why they're doing it.
Yeah.
I mean,
wanna
that's
talk
the
about it,
least
like-
of that's the least of everyone's
But
concern.
that's the thing right now. Like, I mean, it's been so much turmoil behind this whole Kojima Konami thing. What's really happening? What's not happening? People talking. They were scrubbing his name. The ill will they were already engendering now. Like, and also we're taking on that game you all fucking love, and like we're breaking your hearts and telling you it's canceled and all this other stuff. It's like, man, Konami's in a shitstorm right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sucks for them.
It does, man. I feel really bad about it too, because I love Metal Gear, and I was very interested in Silent Hills, and it's just like, man, this is just, they got nothing anymore.
So how much is it though you feel bad and you're interested in Metal Gear and Silent Hill? So how much of it is though you're interested in what Kojima does and you'll just follow him rather than Konami?
I mean, that's 100% it.
Yeah, right.
I didn't care about Silent Hills.
Yeah.
Or
But
Silent
it is
Hill.
sad to see like this company who's been around making games since whatever, like early 70s, when they started making like arcade machines, and then eventually sort of accidentally went into the software world. Like, they've been around forever. So it's kind of disappointing to see, like, in the space of a month, like when Peter broke the story about Kojima on GameSpot last month. Like, since then, it's just been a like number of these things, one
Bad
after
news
the
after
other
bad
after the
news
other,
after bad news.
and they're like game stuff. Like, I think it retracted by 5% in the third quarter of last year, whereas they're like arcade stuff, their pachinko business is getting bigger. Like, this isn't like a normal game developer here in the West. Like, a lot of like the Japanese companies have got like way more diverse portfolios, and they have their weird business in like health spas, and they have their gambling stuff and the pachinko and whatnot. Like, it just kind of looks really disappointing, as if they're like slowly just stepping away, and that.
And
soon
that's the
enough,
interesting
they'll
thing
have
for a
nothing
consumer right now, especially on the eve for the launch of Metal Gear, right? Is like, what is the average gamer taking away from this right now? They're delisting themselves on the stock exchange and stuff, and this is like the shit that the last time you heard about this kind of crap was THQ going bankrupt and stuff. So like, that's the vein you start to think in it. But is it just they're realigning themselves corporately? They're getting out of software. They're gonna say goodbye to PES and let FIFA rule the day. And
Yeah,
all,
see,
you know
that's
what I mean?
in a way, it's like it's not a bad time for them to do it, because the Metal Gear fans, this is hopefully going to close the loop on that whole narrative. So it's kind of done, and like fans of Kojima, I love those games, but I want him to make something else.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
He said he was quitting Metal Gear games about 4 Metal Gear.
I was gonna say,
games.
he says that every
You know
Metal
what I
Gear
mean?
game, right?
So like, sounds like he's finally getting pushed out of the way. Like, the PT was really interesting. I would have liked seeing a new Silent Hill, but I can live without another Silent Hill if he gets to do something else.
Yeah.
And Pro Evolution's a cool game. Like I buy both games every year, but FIFA's got it.
PT was just so different. You know what I mean? Not being a huge survival horror fan, never really getting into the Silent Hills before, or Silent Hill games before. Like playing this one like first person, like I was never like trying to be in combat with anything, right? You're just like, and I know there's a scare around the corner, but trying to piece it all together, and I'm playing in a dark room, and I'm getting. It was like that's so fucking cool. And then apparently Guillermo del Toro is just the kiss of death for any video game or any company that's publishing his video game. You know what I mean? It's just
I think
so
Valve are still
bizarre.
doing okay, but that's about it probably.
It's just crazy to see a company that once had press conferences at E3 every year now be here. You know what I mean? Like Konami is like I always remember growing up and it being like one of the big
believed in
five.
it.
You know what I mean,
believed
or
in
whatever.
that,
Like,
yeah.
and it was definitely a huge thing. And now to see him essentially just backing out completely, and it's really crazy. But the other thing is the only reason that we're noticing all this because there was that one news story, so then all the other things are latching on. They're looking for all this, and so it just kind of like avalanches from there, and it just seems like a bigger deal.
Yeah, like if they pulled out of
It
the
is.
stock exchange, would anyone care?
Yeah.
Also, what does that mean? Like, none of us are economists.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like most of
Kevin
their.
is.
I think like something like I did some reading on it during the week. I think something like less than 1% of their like equity is in North America anyway. Like it's all in Japan, so it just they were saying like it's not really feasible that much for us to be open. Like it's still you can still run it. It's just not on the open exchange. So yeah, like maybe you're right. Maybe there is a bit of like confirmation bias happening with some of this, but just with the Kojima stuff, that looks pretty damning to see, like him getting kicked out, all that stuff getting rebranded, like even the one down in LA, all the Kojima production stuff has changed. I think the one part of this that people care about is what's happening to Metal Gear.
Yeah.
And once that game comes out, what will Konami do next? Anything or nothing? Because they've nothing else really to show for. Pez makes them more money than Metal Gear does. It's crazy.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, Pez sells very well. Yeah, I read into it the same thing with the New York Stock Exchange thing. They're still on the stock exchange in London, and Tokyo obviously would be their most important place, and they're still vibrant there. I mean, you're right in the sense when you go to Japan, we've been to Japan, and you see Konami signs everywhere, and what you realize is that it has nothing to do with games. It's like their spas and their gyms and all these kinds of things, and their gambling and all these kinds of things. Like a lot of people, not a lot of people, but some people have been saying something interesting about this recently, which is maybe Konami is being really smart. Like they're not. They have like a real estate business and shit. Like they have like all of this random stuff. Like and maybe the number crunchers there, the bean counters, and like all of the executives are like, we don't really make any money here. Like why are we even doing this? Like we have all these other things where we make money, as you were saying. There's a more profitable way to run our business, and we have stockholders, and we want to make money. So like, are we gonna make money making traditional software? Or are we gonna make money making pachinko machines and all this kind of stuff? And they're probably saying like, maybe we need to scale back. The reason that we should be scared as gamers about this is because they're locking up a lot of IP presumably, and Metal Gear is important, but the one I care about the most is Castlevania, and watching Mercury Steam with that 3DS game and Lords of Shadow 2 just take a fucking shit down Castlevania's throat was a really sad way to see. That series maybe end. You know what I mean? And what
Is it Simon Belmont you see getting?
No, I see Mercury Steam is like a big machine, a robot that's shitting down, an open cases.
Dracula?
Okay.
It's an amalgam of cartridges and discs and instruction manuals.
Thank you.
It's splattering all
Yeah.
over. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And so that was really sad to see. But the writing's been on the wall with Konami for a long time. And like anyone who's played games for a long time knows that this company has been on a steep decline. And the Kojima thing's salient and important because Kojima is Konami. And without Kojima, they have nothing. They don't have Koji Igarashi anymore. They do not have Kojima now. So the two people that were in charge of their two biggest franchises are gone. So why you should have any faith that, like, we already saw what happened to Castlevania when no one's minding it. It turns into shit. And then we are going to see probably in 5 years what happens to Metal Gear when Kojima's not involved in it. And I'm not saying Metal Gear is like my favorite franchise anymore because it's not, but like there's reason for them to be nervous. The fact that they got rid of Kojima and letting him walk away says it all, because Kojima, as I've said several times now, can kick Bobby Kotick's fucking door down, be like, hey dude, my name's Hideo Kojima, I want $25 million, 100 people, an office building in 4 years. And they'd be like, sure. And then guys from EA are gonna bust through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man and be like, oh dude, we'll give you $35 million and 150 guys in 5 years. And then Sony and Microsoft, like, he doesn't give a flying fuck probably. He'll be totally fine.
I want from this, all that I want is to hear Hideo Kojima say, "Hey, dude." That's it.
Yeah. He
This
probably
would be a
says
win.
it in Japanese. But you understand what
I
I'm saying? Like
know.
Kojima
Hey, dude.
is a big deal. Kojima will work for another.
Yeah.
Again, Greg and I talked about it. Reminds me, it's maybe a lesser of a deal. But when Amy Hennig left Naughty Dog, I can't imagine how many people were fucking tripping over themselves to hire her.
Yeah.
Like she can go wherever she wants, and she walked into Visceral and is writing
Star Wars.
writing a Star Wars game. You know what I mean? Like so, and a canon Star Wars game, by the way, which is like unbelievable. So he can do whatever he wants. The fact that Konami, but again, there's another side to the story that I don't think we're getting, where it's like Konami's probably looking at him and be like, Kojima costs a shit ton of money. He probably has an entourage of, I mean, presumably a couple dozen people that probably have worked with him forever that like are just, and I'm not saying they're not doing any work, but they're just there. Like they come with him, you know, and there's probably a lot of politics and internal things that we don't understand and don't know about that the Japanese media probably knows and understands a lot better than we do. So there's always another side to the story, but I understand why people are upset about this. It's just that we have to look at it from through different lenses. That Konami is a company that needs to survive. They're not here to make here to make games and be, you know, a charitable organization. If Metal Gear is not going to make them a lot of money, then why the hell do they want to do it? You know, and it's the same thing with you know, just getting out of games completely, maybe, and getting out of software completely. It's sad to see, but the middle ground continues to shrink, and Konami is in the middle ground, just like Capcom.
Do you think there's a chance that they will back out of games and kind of sell their
Yes, I think there's
properties?
I think there's a
places?
substantial chance of that.
Do you think they'll sell their properties though? Because that's like a.
How does that even work?
I don't know. I mean,
just why would you? Like if this is something that in the future you can, if this is an area that you can re-expand into if the time comes, why would you like get rid of those properties? Who would buy them?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude,
Commitment. How much money do you need?
like they have 3 or 4 properties that people would scoop up in 2 seconds, right? Like Metal Gear and Castlevania, there would be a huge bidding war over both of those, I think. And you also have to understand they own Contra, which is interesting. They own Dance Dance Revolution. They own like Suikoden and all these like random things. So it's like
They got some games.
They have games and they have back catalogs. Like to own the Castlevania back catalog would be an extraordinary thing. Like even if a company was like, we're not making any new Castlevania games, we just want all of the ones you already have. Like that would be money for years. They could just republish them and put them in collections and do all these things. I would do that if I had the money in the capital. But and I think there's money to be made there, obviously. But I think there's a reasonable path for them to exit the industry because they're letting their biggest guy go. So it's not like you don't make small games to make little bits of money. You make big games to make big amounts of money. And if they don't want to make big games with big guys like Kojima anymore, then clearly they don't think they can make money anymore in games. So I think that's a harbinger, right? Like it would make sense if they were like, well, when Igarashi left, it was like it was sad, but it wasn't like a big deal because, well, Castlevania lives on with Mercury Steam, and you're not Kojima, you know, like you made the Metroidvania Castlevania what it is, but we can do that without you and stuff like that. And I don't think Metal Gear can live without Kojima, and I don't think that you cut off your nose to spite your face kind of thing either. Like I just don't think it makes any sense. I want to believe, and I do believe that Konami's smarter than they seem right now. You know that there's a plan, and that we just don't understand it because we're not. I don't want to put it at such a base level, but we're not the Japanese consumer that consumes the other things they do. So this looks really bad, but I think there's more to it than that.
Cool. There you go, Colin. I love when Colin does that. When he fucking makes a point and then just
This guy fucking loves.
like makes a thing and backs up.
Why I let someone else?
That was your mic drop.
I talk a lot.
I like
No,
it.
I like
started
it.
though. You see, well, you always end it because you do the thing where you lie in wait. You're Batman about it. You let us go. We talk.
That's what
we
I
talk
think.
for a while, and I see you over there biding your time.
Waiting.
And then the show swings to you. You go. You deliver your thing, and you're done.
It's great.
I'm so happy to be here because like I love all you guys. He's one of the smartest motherfuckers in video games.
Oh, he is.
Oh yeah.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice.
He's also one of the coolest dudes in video games.